The Love Your Podcast is a combination of humor, science, and real-world experience to help you break the battles with food, exercise, mindset, and your body. From head to toe, inside and out, this podcast has you covered. I'm your host and founder of the Fit Mom Revolution, Julie Stubblefield. Welcome. Hello, beautiful listeners. Welcome back to Love Your Podcast. Thank you so much for giving me a little bit of time in your ear this week. First, a few housekeeping notes. If you are just joining the podcast, first of all, welcome. I'm giving you a big wave from behind the mic. Make sure you start with episode 74 and work your way to where we are now so that everything makes the most sense. If you want to hop around in previous episodes, totally fine. But 74 through now is what will be the most sequential for you. Secondly, for all listeners, I want you to know that I've put together a whole bunch of resources around compassion that are completely free, and I would love to invite you to participate in them. Super easy. You can look in the show notes by clicking on the podcast icon on your phone or the podcast app itself, or you can go to fitmomrevolution.com/free resources, and you'll see everything right there. I would love to be able to continue this conversation with you in a different way by giving you some additional free resources. So let's get right to why we're here today, which is to kind of pull everything together. And we've talked about, what compassion is, what compassion is not, what it means to give it, what it means to receive it, when you witness it, identifying it, and observing it in your everyday life, and really exploring the feelings that happen around compassion when it's received, when it's given, when it's observed. And why the heck does all of this matter? It matters because there are three people in your life that you aim to avoid. And stay with me on this. This will make sense, I promise. There is the punisher. This is the person who, wants you to feel bad for your decisions. This is the person who wants you to pay the price, so to speak, for looking a certain way, eating a certain way, moving a certain way. Then there's the critic. This is the person who's always judging you and commenting on things that you do, say, feel, wear, whatever. And then we have the bad influence. This is the person that is always trying to throw you off your game no matter what your intentions are. Let's be honest, these are the types of people that we try to limit our exposure to, although the bad influence might be fun for a little while. We try to put some distance between ourselves and these other people because we really don't feel very good when we're with them. The exchange doesn't feel supportive, loving, compassionate. Here's the kicker. While we can distance ourselves from external sources of the critic, the punisher, and the bad influence, we all have those personalities in ourselves, and we engage with those far more than we do the external. So where does that show up? It shows up with restricting our food, over-exercising, or maybe not exercising at all. Setting certain expectations, feeling frustrated when we don't reach them, then making ourselves feel shameful, embarrassed, regretful for not being able to execute unrealistic goals that we've either set for ourselves or unrealistic plans that we've set in motion. All of that is through the critic, the punisher, and the bad influence. And the common thread with that is seeking to change your body because you hate it, or dislike it, or don't want to look at it, or aren't comfortable in it. Whatever phrase feels most true for you. Interesting, huh? The very people that we choose to not spend as much time with are the people that we reside in our own soul with that cause the most friction. Now, what if we were to turn this around? What if we were to instead aim to understand our body? What if we were to make the effort to really address what it needs, how it feels, how it responds? What would that look like? It would look like selecting nourishing foods for your body, regular movement, kindness, respect, rest, stress management, strength. Wow, those words feel so much better. Can you see how there's such a different impact from punishing your body because it doesn't meet a certain standard to recognizing that it has needs and then meeting them? They are worlds apart in execution and in results and in how they feel. So now that you've had all this experience with thinking about compassion and examining what it is for you and what it does for you in your life, can you see how using compassion for your body really turns everything in a different way? I have an interesting analogy for you because you guys know me. I love analogies because they paint a different picture. They get our brains to think about things in a different way. So let's consider a fussy toddler. Maybe a preschooler. They're having a full meltdown in the store. You're not really sure what started it. Maybe your voice raises a little bit. Toddler or preschooler raises their voice more. You start throwing down threats. If you don't stop, that's just fuel for the fire because the toddler or preschooler is going to turn it up a couple of notches. Then you start, raising your voice more and it just escalates. You're making threats, you're talking about, I'm going to stop doing this and I'm taking this away. Your privilege is taken away. And the toddler is not hearing any of it. They're just getting louder and louder. That is what we do to ourselves. All the time, our bodies are screaming. And we're like, no, you just need to do this. No, I'm going to punish you with that. But what if you got down on the toddler's level or the preschooler's level and said, hey, lowered your voice and said, what's going on? And then shut up and listen. I'm willing to bet you that your toddler or preschooler will say in some way, shape, or form or demonstrate they need affection, attention, or a nap. Wow. The complete opposite of what was happening before, right? Raised voices, making threats of punishment and, whatever else versus understanding what they need and maybe just giving them a hug or a smile or looking at what they wanted to show you. Or maybe it's past nap time and they really just need to go to bed. How relevant is that to us as adults? If you were to kind of boil down all of our emotional needs, we pretty much need attention, affection, and a nap. Or sleep, a good night's sleep, if you will. We make things so much more complicated than they need to be. Compassion, while it seems overwhelming and kind of woo-woo and mysterious and undoable, if that's a word, it's actually the simplest form of the human condition. And it's available to us at any time to show to ourselves. So that's why I had you go through all of these exercises. Because I want you to recognize that compassion is there. For the taking, for the creating, for the enjoying, for the connecting. Compassion is powerful, yet we sweep it under the rug. So instead of engaging with your own critic, punisher, or bad influence, maybe spend a little more time trying to understand what your body actually needs. I go through all of this in the extra resources that are provided on my website. I hope that you'll take me up on the offer and go check them out. It's at fitmomrevolution.com/free resources, or you can look for the free resources tab in the menu and grab all the goodies. They are there for you, totally for free. Extra support from having me in your ear. Thank you for giving me some more time in your ear this week. I'll talk to you soon.